Forget Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. In 1998, the money match was Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Two superstars at the peak of their popularity, riding the wave of wrestling's re-emergence in the cultural mainstream, only instead of a wave, it's all the f***ing money that's ever been. 1998 was a banner year for WWE. Austin was finally crowned as the top guy in all of the wrestling, and the Stone Cold McMahon feud had pushed WWE ahead of Nitro in the ratings after 80 straight weeks. Financially speaking, it was a very good year. I'm Plumpy from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating facts about SummerSlam 98. Number 10, the Sunday Night Heat pre-show had surprisingly low ratings. On August 2nd, 98, 4 weeks before SummerSlam, WWE premiered Sunday Night Heat on the USA Network. A full year before SmackDown became the secondary show, Heat was a 1-hour crudité selection of mid-card feuds and the occasional main eventer segment. On the night of SummerSlam, Heat aired live for the first time ever, functioning as, essentially, a SummerSlam kickoff show, only with more wrestling and less Peter Rosenberg. What is Peter Rosenberg? The pre-show featured Gangrel versus Dustin Runnels and Too Much versus LOD 2000, and a neat segment of Austin smashing a parked hearse with a sledgehammer. Incredibly, it did a lower rating than the 4 episodes preceding it. The rating was still impressive, but a live airing for a major pay-per-view losing out to 4 pre-tape shows breaks a whole lot of wrestling precedent. Number 9, D'Lo Brown was the only heel to win. WWE really likes to have their heels win these days, blue-balling the crowd until Big 4 pay-per-views for big babyface wins. That's an oversimplification, and babyfaces still do get wins these days, but heels be standing tall mostly. Things were different in the Attitude Era, where crowd favourites got wins aplenty. Yes, there were plenty of screwy finishes, but there was a more evident sense of fun. Blood-soaked, over-sexualised, coarse-minded fun. That much was apparent at SummerSlam 1998. The heels ran a clean sweep on Sunday Night Heat, but babyfaces dominated the pay-per-view with the sole exception of the opening match. D'Lo Brown retained his European Championship in a disqualification victory over Val Venus, and then nothing but babyfaces. Babyfaces as far as the eye can see. Number 8, the Insane Clown Posse has been edited from the network. Though their professional wrestling legacy will likely be defined by their JCW promotion, Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J, close personal friends of mine, had violent cups of coffee with WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA. My favourite song is Ain't Yo Business Supervillains, featuring Esham. What's yours? The face-painted rapper's big claim to fame under the WWE umbrella was recording a theme song for the Human Oddities stable, which they played live at the Garden on SummerSlam night. There's no evidence of this to be found on the WWE network, however. The performance was edited off, despite having been included in previous releases of the event. It's not clear what the issue is that prevents WWE from airing the Posse's duet, when you can find the likes of Motorhead and Limp Bizkit on past WWE airings. It's an oddity in itself. Number 7, the Clippers malfunctioned after the hair versus hair match. Ah yes, hair versus hair matches, the thing that you all think I need to compete in because you're all At SummerSlam, Jeff Jarrett was defeated by X-Pac in the 3rd match, and subsequently the New Age Outlaws, Droz, and Howard Finkel were present when X-Pac went to take a little off the top of Double J. Sadly, the shave job didn't live up to the billing. Sean Waltman later lamented the fact that the Clippers didn't work properly, too easily clogged when besieged with clumps of Jarrett's long, luxurious, beautiful hair. They turned to scissors for the trimming, but it was taking far too much pay-per-view time to cut it all off. In the end, Jarrett was left with a half-assed Sean job that he would later refine into his short back and sides. Number 6, Edge pitched the finish to the mixed tag match. Getting to team with Sable at the twin peaks of her popularity is quite a plum spot for any wrestler, let alone a 24-year-old blue chipper like Adam Copeland. Despite the early struggles, like accidentally injuring Jose Estrada Jr. in his TV debut, Edge was put into the position to team with Sable against Mark Merrow and Jacqueline at SummerSlam. Though WWE wanted Sable to get the pin on her then husband, Edge knew he had to do something to make his mark. When planning the match, Edge recommended a tag move that he and Christian performed many times on the indies, the tandem front slam, where Edge drops his partner from a wheelbarrow position. The move got a great reaction because, Sable put her legs around a dude, and the memorable spot left the door open for further opportunities up the card. Smart Adam. Number 5, Billy Gunn set a tag team title record. The New Age Outlaws defeated Mankind in an Anything Goes handicap match to become WWE Tag Team Champions one more time, which allowed Billy Gunn to make history. Gunn won his 6th World Tag Team title under the WWE header, breaking out of a 4-way tie for most reigns with Mr. Fuji, Tony Garea, and Mike Rotundo. It was his 3rd reign with Road Dogg, matching the trio he won in the mid-90s as one half of the Smoking Guns. In all, Billy Gunn would end up with 11 different reigns as the tag team champion in WWE, surpassed only by the 14 obtained by Edge. Smart Adam. Number 4, Triple H worked the ladder match with a severe knee injury. The true star-making performances at SummerSlam 98 went to 2 intercontinental level guys that would end up as top big dogs before too long. The Rock and Triple H. After a so-so 2 out of 3 Falls match at Fully Loaded the previous month, Rock and Helmsley tore the Garden apart with a ladder match for the ages. Amazingly, Triple H held up his half of it on one good wheel, with Nostrils Incorporated hampered by a bad knee going back weeks before the pay-per-view. According to the Wrestling Observer, the two were expected to have a dry run ladder match at a house show shortly before the pay-per-view, but were unable due to Helmsley's knee being several shades of bad knee. Triple H's IC title reign would be short-lived, therefore, vacating the belt in late September and not returning from surgery until the end of November. Number 3, Austin was knocked out during the main event. Steve Austin can't catch a break at SummerSlam. The event seems to be trying to kill him, so the hotly anticipated main event had finally arrived. Rattlesnake versus your older sister's creepy boyfriend. Austin in particular wanted the match to be memorable, after last year's SummerSlam, and then wound up barely remembering a thing. While not as bad as his horrific injury in '97, Austin ended up being knocked loopy after an early botch. Charging off the ropes, Austin kicked a hunched over Undertaker in the gut. The response, Taker stood up straight and his noggin whacked Austin right in the chin. According to the Rattlesnake, he was knocked out for about 2 or 3 seconds, and Earl Hebner had to clue the groggy champion into the fact that he was in Madison Square Garden working the main event of SummerSlam, which might explain why. Number 2, Austin was unhappy with the match. The Rattlesnake's rattled brain aside, the Austin-Undertaker match still came off well. Dave Meltzer rated it 3.5 stars, aka better than good but just shy of excellent. Wrestlers, however, are their own worst critics, and Austin admitted on a 2016 edition of his podcast to being disappointed with the match. Austin said that he and The Undertaker didn't hook the crowd the way they'd hoped, and regretted they couldn't get the Garden fans to hang on every ensuing move of their brawl. And number 1, it is the most bought SummerSlam of all time. Here's a simple equation: well-executed hype, plus huge main event, plus professional wrestling as a mainstream fad, equals bucks, 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 bucks. SummerSlam 98 was a major victory for WWE with 700,000 buys. That's a whopping 198% higher than 97. So yeah, you could say business picked up. That number is more than 12 different WrestleManias from the pre-network era, and more than any Royal Rumble or Survivor Series as well. In fact, only one non-WrestleMania pay-per-view has ever pulled in more buys than SummerSlam 98, the Invasion pay-per-view from 2001. Cash Money Vincent.